I think the guys that we have in this locker room will go back to work with that mindset of we're going to continue to work even harder so that when we step on that field this next time, we can find a way to win in those big moments like we have at this first 2 weeks.
All right, put your feet up. We have so much to get to, and we'll start here with this game. There were a lot of different things you could point your finger at, but if there was one most significant, Teddy, why are the Chiefs 0-2?
The inability to block. It's simple. It's fundamental football along the offensive front. Woody knows it. I mean, I see it as a defensive player that by Jordan Davis, by all of the Eagles defenders, that's where they're winning. The line of scrimmage, Patrick Mahomes he's spectacular, but you can't ask him to continually scramble around and run and be the focal point of their rushing offense also every single game.
That was the 4th and short early in the third quarter from their own territory. They're trying to establish something. Instead, it turns into the field goal that's ultimately the difference in the game. And Rex, you watch this stuff through the eyes of a defensive coach. You saw something that demonstrated a blatant lack of respect on the part of Vic Fangio for the Chiefs offense.
Absolutely, and here's why. Look, in the Super Bowl, we all know he never had a blitz one time. It was a 4-man rush the entire Super Bowl, right? They had 6 sacks.
Zero.
Okay.
0 times.
This game, until that Rashee Rice gets off a suspension, that's the way you can anticipate preparing defenses going after Patrick Mahomes. And until you get some type of weapons, man, this ain't the same team.
Rashee Rice suspended. Xavier Worthy still injured. We'll ask Shefty in a second when he might be back, maybe as soon as this week against the Giants. But for the moment, that leads you, D. Wood, to say what about Kansas City?
Nobody's scared of anybody over there. You talk about Vic Fangio and the reason why he blitzed a third of the time. It's like you look around, who's the guy that can hurt me? Nobody can hurt me for the Kansas City Chiefs on defense. You got, a diminished Travis Kelce. Obviously, you saw that huge drop. We've been accustomed to him seeing. But if you don't have that, the Kansas City Chiefs have nothing on offense that threatens any of these teams out here.
This is something you just can't come back from right here. I mean, the Travis Kelce drop was huge. I mean, this is after a 13-play drive. It's 90 degrees out there. They're wearing down the Eagle defense, and then all of a sudden, Makuba gets the play.
But you know what? That you talk about a 13-play drive. That's what we've been talking about with the Kansas City Chiefs. The problem, because it is so hard to make these drives in the National Football League without any explosive plays. Okay, and then you go. That's right. You don't have time to protect, and then obviously you cap off a 13-play drive with a crushing interception on the goal line.
We also said all week long, will the Chiefs get their running game going? It's the second consecutive week in which Mahomes is their leading rusher. Everything does not look right here. Shefty, your biggest takeaway from this day?
The biggest thing here to me is that this game was lost in March. This game was lost when the NFL owners refused to ban the tush-push from happening. It wasn't lost yesterday. It was lost unstoppable. It not only does the defense not know how to handle it, but even the officials don't even know how to handle it. You're seeing the Eagles linemen jump off sides every play, and nothing's called.
It's a false start.
So the officials have no idea. Defenses have no idea, and the Eagles get to do whatever they want on every single play in the tush-push.
And again, I don't see the plan to stop them up front, but you can't when it's a false start. I mean, we're all looking at the ball, and all of a sudden you got 2 guards coming at you. Just officiate it properly. That's all. I mean, we as defenders, we love the challenge. We'll try to stop it. 5 yards, and they should be back on the 5-yard. You can see it from the top. That is a false start. Officiate it properly.
They don't know how to officiate it. They don't know how to stop it. Nobody knows what to do about it. And that is one of the main reasons that the Eagles can't be stopped and that they're 2-0 today.
So they miss it the first time on the play on the goal line, Rex. Brady comes out of the commercial. Does Andy Reid not say to the refs, hey, the next time they do this, be watching for the false start? Because they do it again on the next sequence, and it's not called again.
Yeah, it almost looks like it's being taught. I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
So quite honestly, yeah, every coach in the league is going to say, look, we got to get this officiated correctly, 100%. And yeah, don't kid yourself. I think it's being taught because both guards fire off. Why would you do it? You've got to get some kind of movement to allow it. So they're teaching it this way.
Come on, dude.
And I think they say, oh, no, we're not. The hell you're not. because it's not just coincidence, in my opinion.
And I don't blame the Eagles for it.
No, I don't even
If
know.
it's legal, do it. And if they don't call it, do it. Everyone will try and find any competitive edge they can find.
There's nothing
They're
wrong with
great at it.
bending a rule here and there.
They
It's okay.
You guys know that.
It's okay.
Speaking of it,
You know, this guy plays by the rules, and we'll just say that.
Hey,
Okay?
Yeah.
just use replay assist to help these officials because they can't see it. Oh my gosh.
The point of it is they've changed so many things in the NFL because of the watchability of it. This is not about the Eagles. It is not about taking anything away from them. It is. I can't imagine anyone besides the most ardent Eagle fan does not find that excruciating to watch when they line up in that. I don't know why they didn't get rid of it. So that's one of the two huge stories of the day is the Chiefs starting out 0-2. Shefty, maybe the bigger one comes from Cincinnati.
Well, listen, the Chiefs are 0-2, but they might be in a position that is even better than the Cincinnati for the season. They're still going over the images of his MRI. They're still looking at the turf. Happens. He will be out a minimum of 3 months. So we are now on September 15th. 3 months from now will be December 15th. That puts us at the end of the season. Who knows whether they would be alive in the chase for a playoff spot if Joe Burrow is out until December 15th. And you hate to see any quarterbacks go down, but Joe Burrow has taken a beating throughout his entire career. There are a litany of injuries that he's had to fight through from the moment he was drafted. In 2020, it was all the knee injuries when he was getting hammered in the pocket. There was the right wrist injury in 2023. Now there's the turf toe with the full extent of the damage, and the time is still to be determined.
And every football player, I was watching the game with all of you guys after Countdown yesterday, every one of them said turf toe is the worst named injury in the world because it makes it sound like nothing, but it's actually an incredibly severe, painful, and significant injury, and it could cost the Bengals and their quarterback the season. Rex, what's your first takeaway?
Yeah, I mean, look, I've seen careers ended on turf toe. All right, Bart Scott, Jonathan Ogden, who's only a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Right.
I mean, this thing it's no joke, especially when you're a quarterback and things. But I think there's a bigger problem here. I think the problem is you've got these weapons and all that. That's great. How about we prioritize protecting our quarterback? It drives me crazy. You get all these five. They got to take a deep dive at themselves and say, we're going nowhere without this quarterback.
You know, first thing for me is like, I think of last year how they wasted an all-time great season, and now we're finding ourselves in a situation again where the quarterback is going to miss significant time. And just to echo what you talk about, Rex, like none of these weapons mean anything if you can't keep your guy upright on the field. None of it. Yeah. You've poured all this money into your receiving core, but the most fundamental thing, as far as blocking, protecting your quarterback, you're failing.
You want to see him play. You want to see Joe Burrow play, but I mean, injury prone is what he's been. It's obviously what he is now. I mean, Browning is capable. I mean, but can they even compete now for that division? It's going to be very hard for the Bengals.
Hembo pointed out their pass block win rate per ESPN research since Joe Burrow came into the league: 29th and 20, 30th and 21, 30th and 22, 27th and 23, 32nd and 24, and 28th this year.
There it is. It's as simple as that. And that's a recipe to getting this brilliant young player beat up and their season right now.